Hi everyone, welcome back to Nat Scraps. I'm Natalie Koenig and I'm a close to my heart maker. We have been working on the Crisp Bear scrapbooking kit. Today we're going to work on layout number 8. For those that are new here, maybe have not seen the channel, I take a scrapbooking kit. I don't follow the instructions. I do whatever I want with it. I add a few pieces of paper for base pages and photo mats and things like that. But apart from that, what I use is basically the kit, maybe a few stamps, the digital elements I sometimes bring in also. So today the layout does go a little bit different to what I thought I was going to make, and I try lots of different things, but ultimately I come out with something that's a tad different. Not simple like the last couple of layouts. So if you've seen the last couple and going, where's that messy sort of multimedia kind of look, it's coming back today. I tried using that banner and I try to use it a few different ways, but it ultimately does not work for me on this layout, and it gets used on one of the other layouts. Here I'm adding this is the off-cut bit between the two sticker strips. So quite often there's a bleed line in between and you can use that. And I do quite often use those little leftover bits in my layouts. I do make a big error in this layout in that and you'll see that towards the end, everything's a little bit too high up and then I kind of drop it all a little bit too low. But ultimately I do like what I was doing with this. If I got to make it again, I would definitely make some adjustments to the way I made it. You do that though. Not everything's going to work perfect the first time. What I'm doing here is I'm just trying to see what I like, what I don't like for the layout, see where what pieces I can bring in that I have left off. I'm bringing in this piece of leaf pattern and I really love this paper. It's probably I say that about all the papers. I love them and they're my favorites. It's like children, you can't really have a favorite, but I really do love that paper. I'm looking here at extending that toffee that I have under my photo mat down a bit so that it looks like it sort of goes under and out, and bringing that banner for another go at trying to use it. As I said before though, ultimately that banner doesn't get used here. It does give you another idea though. I think if you put some twine behind that banner or a pop of colour behind it, it might work. But I just kind of kept not quite being what I was looking for. This is a little bit of leftover zip strip and I'm cutting that down so that it can sit on the layout and it gets moved around a little bit. Here I am trying to use it as the ends for the banner, so at the start and finish of that line of little banners. I do use it, but it's not where they are at the moment. I've been trying to plan for what my next series will be. All of the Crisp Bear has been made and edited. I only have voiceovers left to do. So I'm looking at what's going to come next and I'm not quite sure, but I think I will do some standalone cards and maybe some standalone layouts. Let me know what you think I should do. Should I do another series like I have with Backyard Bliss and Crisp Bear where I kill kids? Or are you interested in seeing other things? I would love to know. Leave a comment below or pop over to my Facebook page and leave a comment there and let me know. I'm about to go in and do some stamping. I'm going to use the new Background Elements stamp set, which is from the new Core catalogue. This is kind of a replacement for Perfectly Imperfect, which is on the way out. We only have a few days this month left to grab it before it is retiring. And but this Background Elements is beautiful. It's got some textural bits and pieces in there, some dots, some splatters, and I really love this long kind of paint, distressed paint look. So I'm going in with some Sundance and a little bit of Mocha, and I'm stamping that around. Now, before I mentioned that I had a little bit of an issue with things not being quite positioned right, and that I would change that if I did this again. And that's one of the things that I would do, is I would have got my base papers in exactly where I wanted them before I had done this. I have to go back a couple of times and redo stamping, because I move the elements around a little bit. I lower them. At one stage I have them way too high, and it just doesn't work. So you can see there I've covered up everything that I would have stamped. So tip, get everything sorted out before you do that stamping, and do some little grey lead lines where your paper is going to end, so you're not wasting your time and effort and having to go back in time and time again like I did. So learn from my mistakes, guys. Now you see me trying to draw it down the bottom a bit, so I get that. I want it to flow down the bottom, and I like it at one stage if I dropped it down like 1.5 inches. I was really happy with how it looked, but ultimately I covered it up and had to go again. So I still haven't figured out here that I'm way too high up, like way too high up, and yeah, it takes me a while to figure that out. So I am a bit oblivious to my own doing sometimes, where I just get my head stuck into a space that, no, that's where it's going, and I don't actually see the bigger picture till too late. So you can see I turned that photo mat around too and elongated it a little bit, because as I was putting things on, I was like, oh yeah, that's got to, you know, go down. And I'm trying those banners yet again. I was very persistent in trying these, trying to get them on the page, just didn't get there. So here we go, we take them all off again. Now I'm going to try to extend that down a bit, because I know I'm going to try one more time with those banners first. Persistence, Natalie. I don't know about you guys. Do you ever go like that? That's going on the page whether it works or not? And I think that this day that's what I was doing. I was like, nope, they're going on the page. They're, you know, we're up to layout 8. Like, these banners haven't been used. We're using them today, and you can get in that really bad mindset. I'm now going to try to extend that down a little bit. I was trying to work it onto an angle going down into the bottom right, but it didn't quite work out that way. I'm adding a few little banners on that right side up there, and then I mimic that with a few banners on the top left hand corner as well. So those bits are going not too bad at this stage, although it is still way too high. And I'm kind of figuring that out here. I'm like, oh no, this is, you know, and I put it back on, and it's still like, I think I might have moved it 0.5 centimeter, and really it needed to move probably 2 inches. But I've said often in other videos, I don't like to just show what works for me. I like to be able to give you a raw view of my process, of how it does sometimes not go quite to plan. So I don't like to cut these bits out and go, oh yeah, that didn't happen. It worked the first time I did it. Or there would be the very rare occasion where I make a layout that is just completely off, and I will bin it, or not even bin it, I'll turn it over and start again on the other side, or things like that. But generally I like to show you guys my whole process, and I think that helps in being able to see how other people do it. And I don't think it's very true to just come out and go, yep, this works perfectly every time. Okay, so what I just cut up there, and you can see it off to my right hand side, is one of the pumpkins. Now, I'm in Australia, we don't really do autumn and pumpkins here. So I used the pumpkin, the flowers off the top of the pumpkin, and just cut the pumpkin bit off. Now, golly gosh knows why, but I moved that back up there, and I have no idea why I did that. And I'm sure coming up soon I will have a reason for having done that. Let's hoping that we can figure that out here. Okay, so I've readjusted things here. I'm realizing that this is not going to work where it is, and I'm going to try and move it down. Now I'm trying to keep the top cluster just in that nice area at the top. I still haven't moved it, guys. What am I doing? Can somebody come over here and set me straight, because I don't seem to be moving it. Okay, this is how I get it down. Sorry, guys. I didn't watch back this video before I did the voiceover, so what's happening is as much a surprise to you as to me, really. Instead of moving that again down, I have trimmed about 2 inches off the bottom and a little bit off the sides. So when I come back in, I have a border that I can put on this base page, which I'm using the craft cardstock, and that lowers the majority of that down. And where I kept running into trouble, I lowered the piece of leaf paper and then trimmed off the white excess. Yay, it's semi-fixed now. I'm still going to play with it a little bit and move some of those embellishments down in that bottom section around a little bit. I'm going to make banners out of a couple of pieces that I had sitting there, and those circles are going to get moved and chopped up. So that sticker says beautiful change, and just going in there, tidying up some of those pieces. And here's where I decide that those circles don't need to be all the way along. I like the actual shape down the bottom there, but I don't need them to be in a line. So I just cut 2 of them and I offset them so one's higher than the other, and that the majority of it is actually covered up. I'll try a 3rd one there. I believe one of those gets moved. I'm going to put some little marks on those circles just so that they stand out a little bit from the other things that are around them. We couldn't do a layout, can we, guys, without me actually doing some hand stitching or something on there. And what will we do next? Okay, one last little try with these banner pieces, because, you know, I haven't tried hard enough to get them on the layout, and I'm just having a little look. I think I used one of those pieces in the end there. Apart from a few finishing details, this is starting to get close to finished. As I said, a few little bits of stitching and some drawn lines around the outside edge again, just to differentiate those layers that I have on there. Using the white gel pen around the craft, and then I'm going to go back in with the black around the outside edge of the white, the Sundance and the photo mat. While I'm doing this, I'd just like to thank you for putting up with my chaos on this one, and as I said, I want to share the good, the bad and the ugly, and definitely in this case I have. But thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think. Would have you scrapped this one and started again? What would have you done with it? I'd love to hear. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as I leave, I'll leave you with some still shots and some close-ups of the layout as I go. Bye.